I really like that song.
Oh yeah, Kenny Rowe. I probably
I just
better
can't help
warn everybody. Oh, I'm sorry. I better warn everybody about the lagging.
it.
To everybody in the audience, my computer is lagging a little bit on my side. The tech difficulties, it looks like. So, if there's any awkwardness and any debate, any response or what have you, is on my end from the computer is acting up. How are you
Yeah.
doing today, Jimmy?
I am good. We are over here on fire. I'm stoked.
Well, North Carolina doesn't feel like it's on fire anymore with the autumn here. I have not had any complaints in the last probably in the last week and a half about the weather. I'm not
Oh,
grumpy or angry because when I start sweating, I my disposition changes. My disposition's
yeah.
been pretty cool, mellow.
Good, good. It's been nuts over here. Just constant. The fires out here have gone crazy. I was just saying yesterday, like it's so weird. All summer long, up north in Northern California and stuff, the fires have been going absolutely nuts up there. Like a whole town was lost. And I did not pay attention whatsoever. And then all of a sudden now the fires started down here this week. And I'm like, save us, we're on fucking fire over here. So it's
Yep.
it's been pretty scary. I mean, my house here, we're totally good over here. We're not too close to anything, but there's the line fire is right up to my parents' town. So like there's a main road on my parents' town and my parents' house is like right behind that main road. So the fire was creeping up to it. The firefighters did a controlled fire up to the line of the main road so that way there's like a little bit of a break, and so far so good on that. It's just now the fire, instead of going north, it's heading east towards Big Bear. So Big Bear has now officially, since last night, this morning, got an evac order. And then that's the east side of me. So last night on the west side of me on the mountains, yesterday a fire started out there by Mount Baldy, Mountain High ski resort, and it gained like 25,000 acres in 24 hours. It just yesterday just flew. That we watched a ski resort, one of the ski lifts just catch on fire, an entire like trailer park got burned down. Like you just see a row of cars in front of trailers just all burnt down over there. Like just Wrightwood has been absolutely torn apart last night from the fires. So things are just picking up on the fires and we just got to keep keep watch of it. As of right now, our house is safe. The only thing that's really concerning is the air that we're breathing. It's not really that great. What's up, Warren? What's up, Hirsch first?
Yes. What's up, everyone? Yeah. I mean,
Ed, he said, I'm using your wood paneling background. It's actually, it's real wood. That's my fucking wall, bitches.
you know what I thought that was? I thought that was like curtains with a little glare of showing outside. That's what I thought
Oh,
for a second.
yeah, no, this is my living room wall. There's my picture and my other picture.
Right.
And
Oh
then
yeah.
here is, okay, you want to see something really funny? See how there's a light switch right here and a light switch right here?
Yeah.
If you look really closely, oh wait, where is it? In between the light switch, like right in between here and the light switch and the picture, you'll see this big crack. There's actually a door right here, and the door got nailed shut because there used to be a balcony on this side. We're on like the second story right here. And so there
Oh.
used to be a balcony patio right here that would go down steps. And they took the whole balcony off right here and then shut the door. So if I ever want to like escape, I just gotta like pry open this door right here and then jump out my house off the second story.
Oh. Well, let's hope that doesn't happen.
Crazy,
So
right? I know. I've got like a whole ass door on the side of my wall. It's weird.
no. it's still, you can see the daylight behind me with my background that I kind of kept semi-permanent. At nighttime, you can't tell it's a background. You can't tell it's a window behind me, but you can probably see it's a window behind me right now that's
Oh,
covered with some dark curtains. They're not dark enough.
yeah, yeah, same. I know. My house is so dark because of all this wood paneling. I have to have like a lamp light facing me, or else I look like I'm in the dark.
Yeah, I do like the wood paneling. Everything's like bland white walls and very sterile looking. In
See, I
here.
like that. I miss that. I miss that clean white look. Like, this is all I've had for the last 10 years, and you just can't mix and match colors very well. Like, I'm a very dark, creepy person, so I love blacks, reds, green, like emerald greens, dark, creepy colors. But with this wood, it's so hard to mix and match colors. See, because like my house is, or like my pillows and my couch is black, and then I throw in a little bit of color with like this color because I love this fucking color, and because it looks good with the brown. But I would love to be able to do different colors that, wouldn't go with brown very well, but I've got to match the brown with the rest of the house colors. So I have to add brown into my creepiness, and it's weird. I don't like brown very much.
Well, let's
Not
see
being racist, I don't, I don't like the color brown, you fucking asshole. God damn it, Warren.
yeah, the apartment my parents were living in before they bought their first home in 1979 to 75 had kind of the brown wood paneling throughout the. I mean, and I kind of like that. Kind of reminds me of growing up in the 70s. So before we moved into
Yeah,
their first home, which again had the white walls everywhere, and
yep,
it was the stereotypical brick ranch home of its day.
yep, yep. See, these remind me of
Yeah,
growing up in trailer parks.
yeah. The home we lived there from 75 to 95. We were so glad to get out of that town we yeah, that I grew up in that
Yeah,
they moved to.
yeah.
Yeah, they didn't
Can't
take
be
too
white
kindly
in
to
Biden's
outside.
America confirmed. They're calling me a racist. All earth tones matter. White walls racist.
We're all going there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're all going. I mean, after last night's debate, there's no line anymore. We've crossed lines, all right? Well, fucking Trump is out there
Oh
saying
my
that
God.
we're Haitians are eating pets, so we're done. We're done. America's cooked.
Yeah, the conspiracy theories about cats and dogs being eaten by Haitians. I mean, come on now,
That's so racist.
we
It's like
have
a
a
it's a
conspiracy,
new
not
form
really.
of racism.
And then, of course, there's a part I saw from Due Dissidence that and for some reason I didn't notice it last night. I did watch the debate last night. I didn't notice it until I saw it on Due Dissidence this morning. Of of Trump going into his little rant, and you could just
Oh,
see
yeah.
her smiling. Kamala Harris, like, this guy is crazy. She was trying not to laugh
Yo.
at him, and I
Okay,
think,
okay, okay. I saved a screenshot. Somebody said something really, really, really well about that last night. Okay, okay, okay. So here it is. It's so funny how for weeks everyone telegraphed she's gonna bait him, and her team was like, "We're gonna bait him," and he managed to act normal for like 3 minutes, and then said one thing about his rallies, and it was like feeding a gremlin after midnight. I swear, I thought because he's a white man and she's a black female, I went into the going into the bait thinking he's going to make her look like an emotionally crazy female. And it ended up flipping last night. She made him look like an emotionally crazy female last night. It was so fucking funny to watch him lose his goddamn shit last night. And just, I mean, I'm not a fan of Kamala Harris. I'm not going to vote for Kamala Harris. But as a female, I
yeah,
was like, girl fucking power, bitch. You fucking sit there and you smirk like, fucking slay queen. I'm done. I'm good. I'm fucking done. It was so good. Like, oh my god. I'm not for her policies. I don't believe, I don't like anything she does, but the way that she treated
he's
him last
something.
night. Ooh.
Yeah, yeah, I understand that because for my own reasons, I'm going to look forward to watching the VP debate. I'm not for Kamala Harris. I'm not for Trump Vance. I'm trying to coin flip whether I'm going to vote for Cornel West or Jill Stein. They're both on the ballot in North Carolina, so I got to decide who I'm going to vote for between the two. I think I know which one I will vote for, but I'm still trying to. It's basically a toss up. But anyway, aside from that, I'm going to look forward to seeing Tim Walz and JD Vance debate because
That's gonna be a good one.
of all the four people running, in my opinion, I think he's the best out of the four running. Tim Walz, policy wise, his gubernatorial record in Minnesota is something that that I think it would appeal to all of us. So it would be great to see him tear up JD Vance.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's gonna be good. So you didn't watch the whole thing
Oh, I
all the way
watched
through?
pretty much all. I watched it through Deep Fat Fried. I
Oh, okay.
watched it, and they were talking over them. But so there's a lot of I was a lot. It was kind of hard to understand. I got up and I went to Denny's for dinner late last night, and I watched it over there while I was at Denny's, my office.
Okay.
Uh, as Warren likes to call it, and he's telling the truth. It's kind of like my office.
It is. Your Denny's is your office for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
watched it 3 times already, so I'm on it.
yeah, I'm thinking. I was thinking of maybe doing a video in a couple of days about it. Maybe this weekend I might do a special live stream on my take on the debate. So
Okay.
yeah, that's what I probably will end up doing. But still at the end of the day, if this is the best America can come up with, we're in big trouble.
Yep. I know. We're done. We're fucking cooked. This is it.
Yeah,
I mean, I was telling myself last night, like, if this is the best that we're gonna get, I really don't feel like the motivation to vote anymore. I'm like, honestly, at this moment in time right now, I'm not voting. And it's so weird for me to say that because I've felt like for so long like it's my duty, I need to do this. One vote is gonna get rid of the electoral college, but I'm so past like the annihilism point where I'm just like there's like, hopelessness and all of that. I just at this point I don't feel like voting. I really don't.
I am filled with what they call a doomer mindset when it comes to
Yep.
electoral politics, because
Yep.
I remember back in '92 being very happy. Reagan and Bush were taken down with the election of Bill Clinton, only to be saddened, and right up to this very minute, September the 11th, 5:14 p.m., realizing that we're still living under the Reagan presidency in its 11th term.
Mhm.
So yeah, we have been perpetually exposed to Reaganism the majority of our lives,
Yep. Yep.
and I'm
One good
very
thing of coming this year though that I did hear, apparently 9/11 is so far away now that people can start making jokes about it. It's pretty nice.
um well, the it's not, I would call it a joke, but the we had a clown that responded in the very most wrong way you can imagine. George W.
What, who?
Bush.
No, no, no,
George
like
W.
kids are now making memes about plane crashing into the Twin Towers and stuff, like, now they're turning it into a meme,
Oh,
and it's
oh,
allowed.
oh,
Nobody's getting pushed
Angel
down on
Rivera.
it. Yeah.
You know our friend, Angel Rivera. Angel Rivera was pissed off with Kyle Kalinske on Twitter this morning because
Oh,
Kyle Kalinske put up the Twin Towers with Trump's name on it, and somebody put Kamala Harris head on the jet that hit the tower,
yeah,
and it was kind of that was kind
yeah.
of in bad taste.
I mean,
It was funny.
hey, I don't think any of the jokes are gonna be that good because there's still, new jokes that, most of the time whenever anyone makes a 9/11 jokes, people are like, "Oh, no, that's not cool." So it's just now starting this year to be okay to make the jokes, so you gotta give people a little bit of time to start making funny ones because I don't think people understand how to make a joke about 9/11 yet because it's been shut down for so long.
Well, I think that maybe in his defense, Angel's defense, because he lives in New Jersey, and a lot of people that was close to him were affected by it. I think that might have been it in his defense.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. 23 years is still too soon. No, definitely not. It's so funny though to see. I think what my friend Hirsch just sent this morning. It was a video of Hassan Piker, uh, driving an airplane right into the Twin Towers. It should. If you don't know the inside joke, Hassan one time a few years back made a joke of like, because we're so fucking sick of Americans and Americans are so horrible to other countries. He made a joke of we deserved 9/11 and people fucking, because he's Turkish. So they're like, you're a
Uh-oh.
terrorist, to Hassan and all this shit. Yeah. So seeing that video today of somebody making it of him driving an airplane into the 9/11 thing, it was just so fucking funny. I'm like, here are the jokes. Like, I've been waiting for the jokes.
Yeah, yeah. With Hassan Pike or anybody who's from that part of the world, they're going to be a
They're going to be
racially
assumed to be,
stereotypical
yeah,
target.
yep.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what I get tired of by the right wing when it comes to 9/11? They want to act like they won't say. We're talking about the ones who claim that they're not racist. They want to claim that they want to have it both their way. They want to talk about Middle Easterners as the other,
Right.
the brown people on
Right.
one hand, but don't you dare call them a racist. But it's their
Well,
way to bash brown people. But these brown people that they bash are technically still white. They're Caucasian. You
right.
know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
They're as white as you and me. These people that crashed that plane. I mean, they just have an olive complexion, and they're from North Africa, and they're from Saudi Arabia,
Yep.
and and what have you. It's what
Yep.
basically what I'm saying. They want to racialize the Middle East, and best way to countermand them and to make them look silly, you tell them, motherfucker, those people were white too.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate it because I don't even want to sound because it's not like a Republican thing, but like it was the white people that invented the difference of colors and then based their class off of their colors. Like to me, it's just like they're a human being to me. Like it's just a human, it drives me crazy because even nowadays, like the racism has gotten so manipulative and fucked up that like when we were just talking, like they're saying Haitians are coming out here and eating cats and stuff. So you're saying a black person is eating cats because what? They're animals to you? Because I know that you during 9/11 and right now at Palestine, you're calling these people animals and barbarians. So you just think that black and brown people are animals and barbarians and they eat pets and they just want to kill off everybody because we're white and they don't like our freedom and shit. Like they have to get really specific and picky when it comes to the words and terms that they use
Dog
to
whistles.
produce their racism nowadays, which is
Yeah, the dog
crazy because
whistles.
they're like, "Oh, we're not racist. We're just saying Palestinians." You're still a racist, fucker. That's still racism.
Yeah, yeah. The thing about it is that they will do that, and they're not necessarily lovey dovey toward Jews, but they will defend Israel because Israel is perceived as the West and what have you. And I like to throw that argument against them. I'm like, well, the slaughtering of the Gazans, that's not exactly a Western value. Well, in it is in one sense, but in a way, if we're supposed to be enlightened this day and age and scoff at that, then what Israel is doing is kind of is antithesis of everything that the modern West is supposed to purportedly stand for, if that makes any sense. So, and these are the same people talk about baby killing. Yeah, abortion is a killing of a baby, but they don't have a problem with babies being blown to pieces in Gaza.
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So I mean that's another way I sit there and slap down somebody when they want to go and try that bullshit. Like you support baby killing. I'm gonna say yeah, you guys do too because you support Israel doing what they're doing to defenseless babies who are not terrorists. I mean, a little 4-year-old child is not a terrorist.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I completely that reminds me, okay, I gotta add that onto the list of what we're gonna show today. Somebody made there's I think it was Weisengamma on Instagram. There's a couple of really good Palestinian accounts on Instagram, and they did a really good side by side of Kamala Harris doing some of her little talking points last night about Israel and then showing the children in Gaza in the hospitals and hurt and burnt and stuff like that, like a side by side. It's absolutely perfect.
You know what's so crazy about the right wing calling the Democrats, and not that I'm defending Democrats and everybody to the left of the Democrats, um, when it comes to this whole thing. Uh, Damn, I had a point I was going to make. What were you saying earlier? It's just you said something. What were you saying previously? Because that just jotted what I was going to say in my head.
I don't
Uh,
know. I'm stoned now. I forgot. You can't put me on the spot like that. My
well,
brain goes blank.
it will come back to me. I had it was an important point I was going to say about that, and anyway,
Oh,
I
about
just
them manipulating and changing the wording to
ah
make us think
yeah.
about new racism. Yeah.
Yeah, the difference between the Democrats and Republicans on Israel is what I was going to say. You hear Donald Trump with his speech several months ago about one drop of blood would be met with a gallon of blood. And of course, I mean, this you can interpret as Donald Trump just talking out his ass as usual, but it's pretty damn scary when you study the rhetoric versus the Democrats on Israel, and they're going to be like, well, we're going to quietly tell Benjamin Netanyahu to cut it out, time out, and and just kind of apologize for what Israel's doing as they sit there and they bombard and sell weapons and fund Israel to no different from what the Republicans will do. It's just the Democrats would do it with a little bit of humility and a little bit of like, I'm so sorry, Palestinians, but I got to go and prop up Israel. Whereas the Republicans would be like, no, fuck you, Palestinians, and we're going to prop up Israel. I mean, it's just the rhetorical differences, but it still amounts to the same thing.
Yep. I
Yeah.
completely agree. They
Yeah.
absolutely do.
Yeah. So, and the thing about it is, if they're nervous about being called, you know, it's not anti-Semitic to say Israel is doing wrong. It's not. But if they're worried about that, all they have to do is talk about Dwight Eisenhower, who basically chastised Israel during the Suez Canal crisis in 1956. Theoretically, I mean, historically, he wasn't anti-Israel, but he was probably the most critical person against Israel of all the U.S. presidents since the country was founded in 1948. A lot of people tell me I'm wrong, but it's the damn truth. He was the only president that ever effectively said Israel cut this shit out. The
Mhm.
others never had the balls to do it.
Yep.
The closest thing was before Obama left office that the U.S. voted president in the Security Council, and that was not even really that was not even really Israel. That was not even really being critical of Israel. It was he was not getting along with Netanyahu, and it was just his passive aggressive way of saying "fuck you, Benjamin Netanyahu," which I'll take what I can get because Benjamin Netanyahu is a piece of shit, you know. I mean,
Mhm.
anything that can ruin his day, I'm for.
Yep.
So, but
I freaking
anyhow,
agree.
um, so I guess should we start with the first story?
Sure, you wanna start with yours?
Yeah, yeah. I guess we'll start with mine then.
Okay. Warrens?
Yeah, it's it. Warren did a. I don't know if it's Warren's voice. I think it might be his voice, but you know that Lee Greenwood song, "I'm proud to be an American."
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, it'll put a smile on your face once you watch it.
I don't know if we're gonna be allowed to watch it.
It
Warren, did you get a copyright on this, or are you good? Warren's gotta let me know if you got a if you got a thing on it.
I tell you what, we can wait for Warren's reply, and we go
Yep.
with the story. Let's do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do, the Trump-Harris highlights that I have.
Okay, we'll do that then, and we'll wait for Warren to. I thought we might be okay because uh, it's like a karaoke of the song.
Okay, I'm just worried about the, yeah, partial blocks. See, there we go. So, yeah, no, we can't watch it. Damn. That's what I
Okay,
thought, the cut because of the music itself, because the music, yeah.
You know what I could do? I could put that in the description box below at the end of the show. I don't think there'll be any copyright strike to do that.
Okay. Yeah. You could definitely share it in the thing.
Yeah. Oh, it's a partial block. Oh, that's what he said. But I
Yep.
appealed it. Uh, but I appealed. Okay. All right. Well, then.
Okay. All right,
Well,
let's
that's a
get
shame.
this
That was
going.
that was. I enjoyed that hearing the lyrics there.
I know, I watched it too. And then I was like, "Oh, this." I was in my head when I watched it the other day. I was like, "Oh my god, he's going to get a copyright strike. I hope he doesn't get in trouble."
Yeah, he might be able to get it appealed. Usually, when I try to appeal any copyright strike I ever gotten, it falls on deaf ears. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Here it is. Oh, wait, I want to do it like that. Can I do it like that? No. What about here?
I think that works.
Like that, but
He looks so angry.
I know.
Oh, I can't hear a thing.
You can't hear it?
Uh-uh.
Um, let's see. Why didn't it share? Let's also share the audio. Share. Try that again.
Welcome to you both.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Honor to have you here tonight.
Okay. Cool.
I imagine and have actually a plan to build what I call an opportunity economy. Because here's the thing. We know that we have a shortage of homes and housing, and the cost of housing is too expensive for far too many people.
I had no inflation, virtually no inflation. They had the highest inflation perhaps in the history of our country because I've never seen a worse period of time. People can't go out and buy cereal or bacon or eggs or anything else. The people of our country are absolutely dying with what they've done.
And I'm going to actually do something really unusual, and I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies because it's a really interesting thing to watch. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom.
So she can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics. That's because people want to take their country back. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country. And it's a shame.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there had been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well,
All
I've
this,
seen people on television.
let me just say here, this is
the people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from
but
television.
But the people
I'm
on
taking it from
television
the city
saying their
manager.
dog was eaten by the people that went there.
Again, the Springfield city manager says there's no evidence.
For 52 years, they've been trying to get Roe v. Wade.
I just have to say that shit was so fucking funny. Did you see the look on Kamala Harris's face when he's like, they told me I saw it on television. Like, you're gonna be you could possibly be the president of the United States, and you're telling me that you saw people eating cats, and they told you that on the television. You're the fucking president of the United States of America. This is the kind of world that we live in right now. I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah, I mean, and people act like the fact check there was some conspiracy against him, and here's the thing. I mean, on one hand, I don't like seeing content makers getting attacked with these fact checks or individuals, but when a presidential candidate or any candidate coming for running for office come up with some stupid ass conspiracy theory that needs to be refuted, it needs to be refuted. He's got a right to tell everybody if he want that people are eating cats and dogs, but when something is just so farcical as that, or things like Obama being born in Kenya, he's a secret Muslim, and and all this. And that was invented by Hillary Clinton, by the way, that conspiracy theory about Obama being a secret Muslim and being from Kenya. And the right wing were so stupid, they ended up embracing that conspiracy theory, not fully aware that Hillary Clinton and invented that conspiracy theory. But anyway, I'm glad he got fact checked on that.
Yep, I agree.
Yes.
Into the states. And through the genius and heart and strength of 6 Supreme Court justices, we were able to do that.
When Congress passes a bill to put back in place the protections of Roe v. Wade, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law.
They have abortion in the 9th month. They even have, and you can look at the governor of West Virginia, the previous governor of West Virginia, not the current governor, who's doing an excellent job, but the governor before, he said the baby will be born and we will decide what to do with the baby. In other words, we'll execute the baby.
That bill would have put more resources to allow us to prosecute transnational criminal organizations for trafficking in guns, drugs, and human beings. But you know what happened to that bill?
You know what's crazy about the abortion thing is he, like, before we get into this part, like, he could, instead of saying that liberals and Democrats want to go up to full term and then have an abortion, like, he could have really had a good talking point of saying that you could have codified Roe v. Wade into law a couple of years ago while Biden was still president, but you guys allowed the Supreme Court to take it off of a national thing and have the states' rights. He didn't mention that at all. He brought up the whole bringing up to full term and then having an abortion. Like, who made you practice these for that whole week? Because whoever helped you practice that talking line really screwed you up. Like, he really, like, he's not, I don't say he's purposely screwing himself, but he is screwing himself with his own talking points. He's just sounding like a crazy extreme Republican instead of actually going after her on the things that she was, she should be held accountable for, codifying Roe v. Wade into law, which we had like 2-3 months knowing that we could have done it, and they never fucking did it. They allowed the Supreme Court to get rid of it a couple of years ago. So that part really pissed me off. Like, he could have had something there, but he ruined it with that. Who the fuck is having their child up to the term limit and then fucking having the abortion?
It's
nobody.
Not
it's not
happening. It's not happening. I'm a pro-choice person, and I don't advocate waiting to the 9th month or after the baby's born and quote unquote doing what he claims that they're doing. I don't believe it's happening, and I would be opposed to that if it was happening, because that's not a thing. That is not a thing.
Right.
The only time a woman has a late term abortion in this country is if her life is physically in danger of it.
Right.
And that's reasonable. And as far as I'm concerned. And Trump don't know how to debate that issue, because let's face it, I think he doesn't give a shit about that issue one way or the other, but he needs red meat to throw at the evangelicals who are obsessed with that issue. The same group that don't like the killing of babies, but except when it happens in Gaza by the IDF, that type,
Mm-hmm. Fucking I love this comment right here. No, you guys don't understand. I read an article on freedomeaglefuckcommies.com that libs are killing babies after they're born to farm adrenochrome. I'm dead. I'm fucking dead.
Do you remember? I mean, let me tell you what Glenn Beck said one time a couple of years ago, which is not true. He says, in socialist Britain, they are taking dead fetuses and feeding it into the furnaces of those socialized medical hospitals to heat the hospitals during the winter months.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my
I don't
God.
believe that. I don't believe that's happening. It was just a way to slam at the NHS in the UK,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, they do that everywhere. Remember that they were talking about, like, they were using fetuses for, like, how horrible that they were using unborn fetuses to, like, help people when we were doing stem cell research, which could literally help somebody possibly who have, like, lost an arm in a, traumatic car accident could eventually, in the future evolve to learning how to regrow human fucking arms, or regrow shit. And it's like, y'all are so mad that they're taking these aborted fetuses and recycling them and using them for scientific purposes to help humans. You would rather us just throw them in the trash because they're gonna get aborted anyway. Like, I get it, you want them to stay in a body and grow, but it's not gonna happen. You ain't gonna do it. Like everybody says, you illegalize abortions, they're just going to go get it done illegally. You're not taking down the number of abortions by banning it. All you're doing is showing less people actually getting it done legally, so it looks like it's dropping, but girls are out there in fucking alleyways with coat hangers doing it still, motherfucker. There's girls in their bathroom shaking up Pepsi bottles and sticking them up their crotch to fucking kill a baby. I'm sorry, it's happening. It's going to happen. Women are going to find out ways to get rid of their babies illegally. And I'm sorry, but if it's going to happen like that, I would at least rather it go to something that's scientifically going to help humans in the future than just be thrown away in the trash somewhere, forgotten about and added to the trash pile up that's wrong with this fucking world anyway. So
Well, yeah, and think about it this: if they really wanted fewer abortions, and I would say that the average pro-choice person would also rather see less abortions, but there's a way to do that, and you don't do it with a law. You
yeah,
do it
right.
with,
I'd like to see less abortions too. Will you motherfuckers stop raping girls, please?
yeah,
Please.
have some social services available for people, for
Yeah.
mothers. Let's have universal health care. If they're really so goddamn concerned about pro-life, they will support Medicare for all.
Right. Proper
I mean,
sex education at 15,
yeah,
16 years old, so these kids know what the fuck they're doing, instead of going and hiding from their parents to go sleep around with a boyfriend and then come home pregnant or with an STD. Like, it's just stupid. Our
and I'm
country
not.
is dumb.
And I'm not faulting. There are people who are pro-life that they mean well. There's that they really think, they really think that there's a human life in there, and to that
Yeah.
extent, I'm not demonizing it, but I'm talking about the people who wants to make a culture war out of it and control women, and
Right.
and basically those are the people that I have a problem with, because I would say probably there's some out there who don't like the idea of, I mean, and I can understand why they don't like the idea of it. However, you know it you know I'm talking about the people who want to make a partisan, vicious culture war out of it, and their main objective is that they don't give a damn about babies. They just want to control what women do. They don't want to see women be independent. Is basically what it comes down to.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
All it does come down to is controlling women. I was just no, me and my friends were just talking yesterday. We were talking about smoking cigarettes. So like in the UK, if you buy a pack of cigarettes, it's splattered all across the cigarettes like a skull and a crossbone saying smoking will cause cancer, like letting everybody know that smoking is really bad. And so I was like, like I know that in American cigarettes, it's only on, the little side piece right
Right.
here. So I went to read it, and instead of warning everyone, all humans, men and women, about lung cancer for cigarettes, this is what the Surgeon General's warning says on a pack of cigarettes. Wait. Why does this one say something different? Holy crap. Wait, are they fucking changing? Oh, no, here it is. Okay. Smoking by pregnant women may result in fetal injury, premature birth, and low birth weight. No fucking lung cancer for men, no nothing, just warning for women only, pregnant women. So yeah, like it clicked to me yesterday, like here's another fucking controlling thing. Like, why don't we plaster like the UK plaster so everybody knows that there's cause lung cancer? Why are we only concerned with pregnant women?
Yeah.
More control, birth control. Why is birth control only for women? Why is a vasectomy so fucking crazy scary for men, and why men don't have to get it? Like, men have the choice of like, I'm not going to get snip snap. You ain't snip snapping me. But,
What's
women, like if a family's like, oh, I don't want to have any more babies. It's like, oh yeah, no, woman, you go get a hysterectomy. And now you have no woman hormone parts in there. You're going to gain a bunch of weight, and your fucking hormones and your body is going to be shot for the rest of your life because you took out the parts that you need.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I agree. And when I was a smoker, when I was in England, I was still a smoker, but all my I bought a carton of cigarettes on the plane from the United States, so I wouldn't have to pay the heavy tax while I was over there in England.
Right.
That was my way of avoiding it. So I don't know I don't know if they had that particular warning on cigarettes back then. But I do remember they had vending machines everywhere. Cigarette vending machines were everywhere, whereas it was largely gone in the late 1990s in North Carolina.
Yep. Yeah.
It's just some of the subtle little differences I've noticed.
The
But
subtle.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just crazy to read
but
that the
you're right.
Surgeon General's warning was for a woman, a pregnant woman. Like the control over women in this country is just, it's staggering to me, the little things that they do to take control of us. Like that, I'm raised very conservative too, so I've never really had like that victim mentality, but I swear to God, man, I'm really sick and tired of all these people making rules and laws over my decisions over my body. It's crazy to me. Like I start to feel that
Yeah,
victimization and I hate it.
yeah, they claim to be for liberty and small government, but they want to sit there and monitor what people do. They want to control women. They want
Right.
to tell two adults of the same gender, you can't get married.
Right.
They have tried stopping it for years, and thankfully is that discrimination doesn't exist anymore. But these people really do believe in micromanaging people's lives more than they claim that the so-called
Right.
liberals do.
Yep.
Uh,
I
so
agree. All right, we'll get on to yours. We just did a really good little side convo, and so I'm down to move on to the next one. All right.
well, I tend to do that. I
Nope.
meander on the side a lot.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing about you.
Yeah. Somebody referred to me as accused me of being an olive brancher. I olive branch to a side point or something, and I tend to be very long-winded at times and kind of go off. It's a fault of mine. So
That's right. That's right. There's nothing wrong with that. Share a tab. Okay, so that's why I wasn't sharing the audio. Got it. Did you want to watch the video part?
yeah, we'll do that.
Okay, Alan Dershowitz leaves the Democratic Party, cites DNC. I was disgusted.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah. Let me get that link then. Okay.
Yeah, you want me to send it
okay,
to
give me
you?
a second. Yeah. Uh-oh.
There you go.
Hello?
Sorry, y'all. I think his internet is messing up today.
Yeah, please. Yeah. Okay. And that in a few days, but I think we should discuss it here too. Hold on. Come on.
Y'all hearing Willie right now? He is all over the place.
Okay. All right. Give me a second.
Right, the douche, also known as the Dersh. Yeah, isn't Alan Dershowitz is this old guy right here with glasses, right? Isn't that like Jeff Epstein's old lawyer?
Yeah. And I got a story about Alan Dershowitz.
Why does anyone care what fucking party he's in?
I got a story about Alan. Because he's because wait a minute. I think I found it. Come on, computer. No, it's trying to download.
I sent you the link in the private chat so you could go to it.
Yeah, I know. I clicked.
Oh,
I just
weird.
clicked it and it's not doing what's supposed to. Come on.
All right, we'll play the video while you get yours started.
On a from 1 to 10.
Yeah, it says something's gone wrong here.
Below 20. It's the worst legal verdict I've seen in 60 years practicing writing, litigating cases. It's now days since the verdict. I still don't know what he was convicted of. Was he convicted of intent to cheat on his taxes 2 years later, although he didn't take it as a deduction? Was he convicted of defrauding voters who obviously knew that he was a sexual scoundrel?
Oh. During recent appearance on Piers Morgan, legal scholar criticized the Trump hush money verdict. Trump has claimed the trial that led him to the convicted on 34 counts of falsifying business records was rigged. All right.
It's disappeared on my end.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, I mean it's a blank page here on my end.
Oh, yeah, no, it's showing on my end. Y'all can see it, right? Right?
Yeah, for some reason it's not showing. I mean, what I see is the Fox News logo and a blank page.
That's so weird.
Yeah, if you don't mind, if you can go ahead and do that, because for some reason it's just not showing up. Yeah.
You see it? Okay, it
Okay,
looks
yeah,
like
go ahead
her
and do
says
that.
you use it.
I apologize.
I'll read
For
it.
some reason.
Okay. Prominent
All right.
attorney Alan Dershowitz announced his departure from the Democratic Party, citing several anti-Jewish lawmakers that make up the ranks of the party and recent Democratic National Convention, in which Vice President Kamala Harris became the party's presidential nominee. Speaking with radio host Zev Brenner on the Talk Line with Zev Brenner, Dershowitz cited the DNC, which he said it gave legitimacy to anti-Israel speakers and anti-Israel protesters outside the gathering. He says, it was the most anti-Jewish, anti-Israel, anti-Zionist convention I've experienced. I was disgusted at the National Democratic Convention. Absolutely disgusted. That's weird because I remember them not giving a Palestinian any time to talk on the fucking stage. Okay, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am no longer
That's
a
what you're
Democrat. I am
projecting.
an independent, he added, noting that he wouldn't reveal whom he was voting for president until possibly after November 1st. I want to see how they deal with Iran. I want to encourage the current administration to support Israel. Ew. Harvard law professor emeritus said his departure from the party was a long time coming and that he gradually resigned over time. A lot of things pushed me in that direction, he said. Dershowitz noted Harris's failure to preside over a joint session of Congress during an address by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu played a big role in his decision. Some Democrats skipped Netanyahu's speech as a form of protest. That made him mad, I guess. Ultimately, it was the convention that was held in Chicago last month that pushed him over the edge, he said. He named Representative AOC, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, who he said were anti-Israel, Reverend Alan Sharpton, who has been accused of anti-Semitism in the past. In addition, there were anti-Israel protesters outside the gathering who called for the destruction of Israel. He said, "That's not my party." Aw, boo fucking who? Poor
Yeah.
Mr. Dershowitz.
All I got to say about that is if he thinks, okay, he claims that the Democratic Party has turned against Israel and turned against Zionism. There's no evidence of that. They got a loud base of people who are critical, but the party leadership is as cucked toward Israel as the Republican Party are.
Yep.
He's kind of
It's that Zionist victim mentality.
Yep.
If the whole group is there and one or two people say that they don't like you, they're gonna say that they all don't like you. It's that blanketed victimization.
Yep.
It's everybody else's fault because I went through the Holocaust or my family members went through the Holocaust. It's everybody's fault and everybody needs to suffer because I'm the victim. That's why.
Yeah, and here's another thing: when a former Democrat say I'm going to be an independent, they usually mean that they don't have the guts to say I'm voting Republican, which is what it is. And as far as Benjamin Netanyahu speaking joint session of Congress this year, just like he did in 2015. It was totally justified to boycott the SOB because Benjamin Netanyahu is one of the most evil men living on the planet Earth today. Has nothing to do with the fact that the one thing he has in common with Alan Dershowitz and Bernie Sanders, and that is he's secular. He's under the classification in Israel as a secular Jew. Has nothing to do with it. It's just he is a war criminal. I mean, Benjamin Netanyahu, and his attack against Elizabeth Warren, every time I ever heard Elizabeth Warren talks about Israel, she's very pro-Israel. AOC, she claims to be critical of Israel, but she ends up voting to fund Iron Domes and funding of Israel and all of that. And Bernie Sanders is, weirdly enough, Bernie Sanders is also a Zionist. He actually lived in kibbutz in Israel.
Yep. To a point, he is. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just the first couple of months after October 7th happened, he was saying that Israel has the right to defend itself. Like he's no different.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know what he's getting at. Now he claims that Bernie Sanders is a self-hating Jew. He said that one time.
That's what all Zionists say.
Yeah, and I don't have any evidence of that. He's just like Alan Dershowitz. He's not religious. Alan Dershowitz is not religious, because I'm gonna tell you about Alan Dershowitz. Alan Dershowitz used to be on the left in every way that it was sort of you expect somebody to be on the left years ago. I mean, he did the free speech thing for everyone. He actually defended Vanessa Redgrave. Huh?
I was saying hi to Mr. H really quick. Go ahead.
He defended Vanessa Redgrave in the early 80s when she was there was a role for a movie she was supposed to play in, but they denied her the role because of her pro-Palestinian activities and everything. And he actually represented her right to play in that movie. I forgot the name of the movie and the role. Anyway, suffice to say, and he was a hardcore pro-Israel person then, but at least he did defend her right to not be you cancel culture by the film industry. And but today I'm not so convinced he would be doing that. Also, after 9/11, he justified what was going on in Guantanamo Bay, and when he talked about the Iraq War, he said he was 59%, 51% against it, 49% for it, meaning that he really supported the Iraq War. So he's been going downhill since 9/11. I mean, like totally he just been going further and further to the right, and everything that was ever honorable about him is totally gone. I'm just disgusted by his image on the screen now.
Yep. I agree. Yeah. Hi, Bella. I promise you, I wasn't trying to false advertise with the title. We did talk about the debate a little bit, and I talked about the fires earlier, but I swear to God, when I was trying to come up with the title of the show today, I was half asleep and my brain couldn't even think right. I think the first 10 minutes of the show in my head, I thought, they're eating the pets. That's what we should have titled the show today, was they're eating the pets, or something funny about pets. So I'm sorry. I know it probably slightly false advertising, but I woke up with weather shit in my head and the debate. And that was all I had in my head today. So I was like, hurricanes, fires, and debate. That's all in my head. So that's the title of the show. No false advertising, I promise, Bella. Good to see you though.
I did some unintentional false advertising on my Monday stream. So,
fucking Warren, I feel betrayed.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I false advertised. Hey, but if you think about it though, because we're on YouTube, I put in hurricane and fire and debate are the 3 words that I use for the title of the show, and that's going to be really good for the algorithms today. So I'm just saying. saying.
I'll be sure to put, when I write down on the description box, I will be sure to put those 3 words on the hashtag.
Yes, do the hashtag. Yeah, let's fuck with the algorithms today. Thank you for the inspiration, Bella. Now we're going to false advertise. All right, it's called clickbait, baby.
You know what's really funny about the word clickbait? When you
Christopher
hear,
Reeves ate my baby.
you know
Sorry.
what's funny- you know what's funny about the term clickbait is when I see the online drama from the big streamers, whether it's Bosch or TYT, they'll be like, "Oh, you're doing that for clickbait. You just want people to go to click and watch your
Ignore
video."
him. Ignore him. Who cares? If
Yeah.
you don't do it, then 100,000 other people on YouTube are gonna do it, and fuck them. If who cares because one person's complaining that you doing clickbait when there's people out there like fucking Mr. Beast and like all the rest of the other people that do clickbaity stuff all the fucking time with their pictures and the title of their show. It's the whole point. That's the reason why there's algorithms out there is to try to figure out how to not abuse it, but use it and work it. If you don't, somebody else will. It's just like the fucking stock market. If you don't work in the stock market and do all that shit, somebody else is going to do it and take all the money. So you might as well figure it the fuck out.
Yeah, because nobody's going to work hard to make a video or do a live stream and do all that prep work and be like, look at all this prep work I'm doing. But please, whatever you do not view it and do not subscribe to my channel. And I mean, nobody's going, I mean,
Right.
yeah. I always thought it was
Exactly.
silly when I've heard people say that. I mean, when, because last year when Bosch called Anna Kasparian a turf and she went all crazy and everything. And she was like, "Congratulations, boss! You got the attention you deserve." Blah blah. It was kind of funny watching that. But
Good.
anyway,
I
yeah,
loved it. Man, when I was doing my what show and I would make clips, sometimes I would do clickbaity stuff. There was one time when I became vice president, I believe, or no, we like split up the company at KRTD. And so like I had taken over the media part of it, but we made a video to make it look like I took the president's spot and kicked him off, and like I made a thumbnail and everything. It was so clickbaity. There were so many people that were so mad about it. And I was like, fucking eat your heart out, bitch. Have fun with it. It was fun for us. Shane was giggling like a little schoolgirl. It made me so fucking happy. We had such a fucking fun with that little clickbaity video. We had a blast and everybody fucking hated it. And I said, fucking stick it up your ass. I don't give a fuck. I love that shit.
yeah. You got to do what you got
Joey,
to do.
you got some good videos. Your titles and your thumbnails need more clickbaity stuff. I'm just saying. You want to
Yeah.
clickbait? I know you like clickbait and want to do it. I could help you. I know. I'm really good at false advertising and getting people to hop onto a video and watch it.
Yeah, I like
Jim bait.
I like Joey's sense of humor.
Yeah.
I mean, uh, good sense of humor with the commentary on the side. I mean, just like I always look forward when he posts something up. So yeah,
I'm digging these fucking nicknames. I'm digging them. It's better
Yep.
than Jimmy Changa. Jimmy Changa.
Jimmy Click.
Jimmy Clickbait. Jimmy Bait. I'm done. I'm fucking fired. All right, let's go on to the next one.
All right.
Right? Right, exactly. Do donkeys fuck like apes? Click more to find out. And then it's us talking about they're eating the dogs in Ohio.
I'm
Hey,
gonna have to do that myself.
speaking of which, all my skibbity Riz people that know these kids' lingos, when you have Ohio Riz, does that mean that you eat pets? I'm asking for a Gen Z friend. Just saying. It's Jimmy Changa's great. Fucking hate it. Ah. Your main
Well,
priority is organizing in real life nowadays. Appreciate the offer. Hell yeah. If you need any help, let me know. I'm like trying to find fucking shit out there to do for organization. At least for the local levels, man. The local levels need some fucking help. All right, yeah, it's Gen Alpha. You right. You right. You right. All right.
uh,
So next
that's a new age group there, Gen Alphas.
Gen Alpha, yeah. My
Yeah.
step grandson is a Gen Alpha. So
Yeah. I'm just getting used to millennials being, very young, and not that long ago I am where the millennials were age wise. It's
I
crazy.
know. I
Yeah.
know. Growing up as a millennial, you think you're never gonna get old, and now you're in the old spot, and it's like, whoa, whoa. And these
Yeah,
kids
because
with the words nowadays too, like you grow up thinking like, oh, I'm gonna stay in trend with all these words and stuff. I'm gonna be cool, we're awesome, and then they come out with like skibbity Ohio Riz and shit, and I'm just like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, y'all. You're speaking gibberish like Sims language to me right now. Egad bookiga. I have no idea what the fuck you're saying.
Well, before we get on to the next story here, I will say this. I remember 20 years ago when I started getting on MySpace. Remember that? Um, when I was on MySpace, and I had people track me down from my high school. And some of these people who look younger than me when I was in high school, that were my age, ended up looking way older than me, 20 years later.
I know, I know, I know. It's so funny to see like the people who I thought were like all the girls who I thought were like gonna be the most beautiful girls in the world forever. They're just gorgeous girls. And I see them now and we're all fucking basic. And I'm just like, yeah, welcome to the fucking team, motherfucker. We all ugly now. We all ugly.
No,
It's
I mean,
funny is my
actually, I thought,
sister, like, my sister is a year younger than me, and I always joke with her, like, I'm very, very narcissistic of me, but I'm always like, "You're the ugly one, I'm the pretty one," all the time, and I hung out with my sister this last Christmas, and I swear to God, like, she's still the same, like, she hasn't changed or anything, but all of a sudden, I'm looking at her and I'm like, "I think my sister's the pretty one this year," which is fucking wild to me. It's absolutely insane, like, how yeah, people can absolutely like the change just look completely different, but they still have that like little smidgen of how they it's crazy.
yeah, I'm everybody's their own worst critic, and I used to think I was the ugly duckling growing up and everything, and I would look at my pictures from my early 20s, and I'm like looking at my early 20s photos. I'd be like, no, I was fucking hot back then.
I
I mean,
know.
like if I would have been a female, I would have been gay. I would have done myself back then. What happened to me?
I know, I wish I would have taken more pictures of myself back then, or at least, like, my biggest regret was canceling my MySpace account early instead of just leaving it. I'd, like, totally just deleted the whole account, so all of my good old pictures from my early 20s are just gone, and, yeah, the little few pictures I do have from back then, I used to hate myself. Everybody hates themselves at that time, but now I look back and I'm like, "God, you were a beautiful little creature, girl. You were a pretty girl back then, I swear." Nothing I could ever get away with nowadays, like some of the photo shoots I did and, the outfits I would wear, like, I couldn't get away with that shit now. There's no way.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, there you go, Bella. You tell him. You're still hot, Willie. You're
yeah.
still hot. I know, Warren. I don't know what the fuck happened to me. I just got old. Willie got hotter and I got uglier. I don't know what happened.
The
No
only thing
fucking
that's hot
clue.
about me is when the summer gets here, and I'm miserable. That's what's hot about me.
See, the only hot thing about me is when winter comes because then I cover up everything and you don't see anything of me, and that's when I'm the cutest. I just look
I
like a
don't,
fucking snowball running around. That's it. You
no,
don't see me.
you don't
I'm
seem to have
ugly now.
you don't have any problem physically any time of the year, visual wise. So
I know. I'm just joking.
yeah, I know, but
Don't lie, Willie. You're the pretty one, damn it. Okay? Fuck.
uh, um,
I don't
uh,
know what happened, Warren. I don't know what happened.
oh
It's
wow.
genes. It's the genes. And all these cats, they just wore me out. They
Well,
stole my soul, little fucking succubuses.
now I'm going to tell you one thing about my parents. My parents do not look like they're in
Thank
their
you,
80s.
Bella.
I took them to the airport day before yesterday, and they don't look like they're in their 80s at all. I mean, they've actually kept a pretty good shelf life.
What has?
My parents kept a very good shelf life.
Nice.
They don't look elderly. They don't look like they. Now they don't look like they're 35 years old, but they don't look like they're, they don't look like they're 83 and 81 years old. In other
Right.
words,
Right.
I mean, they look younger than that. I mean, they may look like they're in their late 50s, early 60s.
That's right.
They look slightly older than I do, but not by a whole lot.
Uh-huh. My mom's not much older than me. She's only 17 years older than me, so she's still young. My mom does these cute little pictures every Sunday. She'll post a picture on Facebook before church, and she calls it her Sunday morning smiles. And she's just beautiful. My mom is absolutely beautiful. I got very, 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 very lucky with my mom. She's a beautiful woman. But I think we should all say that about our parents anyway, so.
Now, my parents are nice looking. I don't know what the hell happened to me.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. No, I'm just kidding. You're older than your mom? God damn, desert mantis. Is that how praying mantises work out in the desert? Just asking for a friend too.
I'm older than my mom. Wow. There is a.
All right, you ready
I'm
for
ready.
the next one?
Yes.
I know. It's so funny is we get to talking and motherfuckers start watching though. It's super funny.
It's part of what they call the clickbait right here. This is how we
That's
get
right.
people.
That's right.
Yeah.
You've been
We're doing our
clickbaited, motherfuckers.
We're doing
All
our
right.
part, and everybody's responding accordingly.
Yes. Okay. So the next one we have for yours is Dick Cheney and the Cheneys ended up endorsing Kamala Harris. Interesting.
Yeah.
Can you please, because I obviously will probably remember who these Cheney people are, but I decided to not do my research about the Cheneys, and I want you to tell me who are the Cheneys, what is their main history that we would know them about, and what makes this so significant, this
Well,
change.
the fact that they were such hardcore Republicans all their lives, and they were the toast of Rush Limbaugh 20 years ago, and now being embraced by the Democrats, and they're because they hate Trump, and they're never Trumper Republicans, and they're to the Trump's right in many ways. It's a weird situation where they end up endorsing some Democrats, basically.
Okay. Talk to me like I don't know anything. What positions have Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney held?
Well, we're talking about Vice President Dick Cheney during the Bush administration, George W. Bush administration, Secretary of Defense during the first George Herbert Walker Bush, his father's presidency, and I think he served as defense secretary, I think, during the Reagan administration. He's just been perpetually in Republican circles in the defense industry, defense oriented, foreign policy oriented, and all that. All these years, he was the CEO of Halliburton, who made a lot of money, dirty money, basically. And Liz Cheney, of course, she was the congresswoman from Wyoming who was Ms. Republican partisan culture warrior and all. And because Donald Trump came along and offended their sensibilities, they turned against Trump while not changing their politics. And the problem with the Democrats and the problem with liberals and shit lives rehabilitating the Cheneys, it's not going to mean that the Democrats are going to go further left. It's going to go further right. It's actually going to push the Democrats to the right, not away from the right. In other words, that's my problem with this whole thing. The enemy of my enemy is not always going to be my friend, and these liberals need to realize that.
I completely agree. Okay. I just wanted to give a good little segment ahead of time to kind of, for anybody that doesn't maybe fully know Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney. So here is your video.
Secretary Dick Cheney is backing Kamala Harris. That marks one of her most high-ranking Republican endorsements in this campaign, probably the most iconic. Dick Cheney is an arch-conservative hawk, a GOP icon, a fixture running Republican administrations as chief of staff, and then running their war policies as defense secretary and vice president, most famously during 9/11 and the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. Those were stints that made him a firebrand folk hero on the right and loathed by most prominent Washington Democrats. Indeed, this news right now tonight would have been unheard of 10 or 15 years ago. And we should remind you, Cheney is far from a never Trumper. He endorsed Donald Trump in 2016. This is a mark amidst this extraordinary shift in American politics. It also completes the Cheney family's unusual evolution. And it did not come during the actual 4 years of Trump's presidency, his governing priorities and mistakes, whatever you think of them. It only came during the battle in the fissure over whether we are going to be a democracy or a coup-run dictatorship in this country. It came in that period after Trump lost to Joe Biden and fomented an insurrection. You probably recall how Liz Cheney went from the actual Republican leadership, working in tandem with Trump, to a critic of him, to then chairing the January 6th committee investigating his attack. Now her father joins this stance, which puts democracy above politics or any certain policies. And as a political matter, may be hugely helpful to Kamala Harris in a tight race that includes states where there are people who still really like the Bush-Cheney policies or hearken back to them as a better Republican era than Trumpism. And if that's what they hearken back to, Dick Cheney is telling them, vote for Kamala Harris tonight. Liz and Dick, we should mention, have a long record disagreeing with Kamala Harris on everything from abortion to taxes. But they're saying something here is more important tonight. Liz Cheney actually broke this news in an appearance today with journalist Mark Leibovich.
Dick Cheney, your father, a beloved figure among Democrats for many, many years. Do you, if you know who he will be supporting or who he'll be voting for, do you care to share with us who he might be voting for?
Dick Cheney will be voting for Kamala Harris.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow is right. You can hear the cheers, which happen to reflect the room she was in. She could have been in a more independent room, and there might have been a mixed reaction, or she could have been in a Republican room, a MAGA room, and people would have had their own reaction. All those reactions, real or imagined, though, reflect the fact that this is a big deal. You heard Leibovich, a straight reporter, saying, wow, this is a big one. We already knew how many top Republican officials had skipped this year's MAGA RNC, and that some have clearly not wanted more Trump. But they also have not done what I'm reporting to you Liz Cheney just announced about Dick Cheney. They have not publicly backed the Democratic nominee during the voting period and pre-period where people make up their minds. Take George W. Bush. We know from reporting he ultimately voted against Trump last cycle, but he did it with a write-in choice, and he avoided any major campaigning. In other words, whatever sway or political capital he had as a former president, he didn't use it. He just didn't want to vote for Trump. His vice president, Dick Cheney, who is famously loud, muscular, rough in government, politics, and bureaucracy, in her primary, he was clear about the danger of Trump.
There has never been an individual who is a greater threat to our republic than Donald Trump. He is a coward. A real man wouldn't lie to his supporters. He lost his election, and he lost big. I know it, he knows it, and deep down, I think most Republicans know it.
Do they, though? Again, that was a certain type of argument, and that was a bit of family business in the campaign. This goes farther than family business, and people don't make up their minds in a vacuum. This public stance by both Cheneys now could matter. It's also the first week of the traditional general election, so more announcements like this could be coming. And we are joined now by Quentin Fulks, Principal Deputy Campaign Manager for the Harris campaign. Welcome.
Okay, I don't want to hear all that bullshit.
Yeah, so what's your take on this whole thing?
My biggest question for all of this stuff is, why is this such a big deal of who these high profile people are voting for? I just don't understand why they make it such a big deal. It's like me going over to like my neighbor down the street and being like, welcome to MSNBC News Live. Who are you going to be voting for today? And my drunk neighbor's over there hawking up his fucking last of his liver that he has left. He's like, Trump. Like, I just don't fucking care that who people are fucking voting for. Like, I just don't understand why they make this shit such a big fucking deal.
Well, for me, the big deal is this. It is just another indicator that the Democrats don't go further left like Republican culture warriors and partisan hacks claim. They go further. They go closer toward the Republican. Whatever line that the Republicans whatever line they draw in the sand, the Democrats jump over and end up joining them while pretending to be against the Republicans. In other words, Trump derangement syndrome broke a lot of people's minds from both sides. I mean, I look at Donald Trump and I look at him as a bullshitter. I think he's stupid. I think he's lazy and goofy. I think that he talks out his ass. And on some policies, he's dangerous. On some policies, I'm not going to say he's further to the left of the Democrats, but he shows pockets of moderation occasionally. But I would never vote for him. And the thing about it is, prior to January 6th, the Cheneys were very critical of Trump. I've heard people from the George W. Bush administration during the Trump presidency criticized him on a lot of policies and everything. And the Democrats, they would just sit there and embrace him. It's like, oh, you're one of us now, and they do it with the intention that they think that these people became liberal. No, they're the same people they were when they were the toast of Rush Limbaugh 20 years ago. They're still the same assholes.
Yup. And we just forget about it. I mean, look at like what was a few years ago when Michelle Obama, like there's a picture of her sitting there and she got her shoulder on Bush's head and shit. Like, this is the reality we live in. Everybody's got fucking history amnesia or something, but there's just more proof that we're doomed to repeat ourselves. So because of it. Hi, Mantis. No, this is, I don't know what an Ibizan hound is, but this is a Chiweenie with big fucking ears. Her fucking name is Lady, and she's a pain in my ass. She's like a little rabbit. Here, you want to see her? There is hers. That is my babies. That is my babies. Oh, God. She's so ridiculous.
I see her ears flip around every once in a while.
Dude, yes. Remember I used to do that? Oh my gosh, that's right. She used to be Bernie Sanders. Hold on. Back when I liked Bernie Sanders. Hold on, I'll flip her ears back. And look, now she looks like she'll tell her, I'm going to give everybody free health care. I love you too. I'm going to give everybody free health care. Free health
Put some glasses on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for her freaking ears, they're so cute. I want to do like a TikTok video where they're like she's all cute and they're down, and then we back up and we go, wow. You see that? Like her fucking ears are dangerous. Watch. You ready? We're gonna do it again. You ready? Pow! Look at those fucking weapons of mass destruction on her head right here.
Yeah, Chiweenie, she's awesome.
She's the cutest. They're like rabbits, though. I hate it. Like if you try to pick them up, their back feet just everywhere, and you're like, okay, just chill, fucking chill. I'm done.
Pets can be a joy. I guess we can go on with the next story.
Bump my nose, little brat. All right, so the next one I have actually up is that Trump thinks that they're doing trans surgeries in schools.
Just like Trump to think that.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like Trump to think that. Is this from the debate last night or no?
It's the if it's the due dissidence one, it's
the David Pakman one.
Oh, okay. I think that's from no, that was before the debate. I believe that was before the debate.
Okay. Yeah. No, it does say it. Because he was saying something last night too during the debate about people getting trans surgeries, but this was about immigrants in prisons, though. All right, let's see this one.
One of the real challenges we've identified right now in the American political discourse is that when the other side brazenly lies, and to even get back to the beginning of a conversation where there might be a reasonable disagreement, we have to first undo all of the lies. By definition, you're behind. And we have the perfect example of this from a bizarre interview Donald Trump gave a few days ago to the right-wing moms group, Moms for Liberty. It turns out that Moms for Liberty are only for liberty when it's the type of liberty they like and approve of. But that's probably a topic for a different day. Donald Trump bizarrely reclining during this entire interview, almost like we do at a Passover Seder, where you eat reclined, right? The other Jewish folks in the audience, I'm sure, know that you recline during the Passover Seder, at least in theory. And Donald Trump bizarrely reclining. It's just everything about this interview is strange. And Trump seems to suggest here that children, it's hard to even explain what he says because it's so ridiculous. Children are getting trans surgeries as he knows them, gender affirming surgery at school. Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that what Trump is saying here?
Almost nobody in this room wants, but I think 85, 90% of the country doesn't want it there. Absolutely. But the transgender thing is incredible. Think of it. Your kid goes to school and comes home a few days later with an operation. The school decides what's going to happen with your child. And none of these 15 years later say, what the hell happened? Who did this to me?
Now, of course, it's many of these children. That's the
Okay.
way conventionally the English language works. It's not many of these childs, it's many of these children. But Trump is saying your kid goes to school. A few days later, I guess they don't come home from school the first day. I don't know. They're gone at school a few days, and then they come home with an operation, having had an operation. Who did it? Are teachers performing surgery? Damn it. And do they have an anesthesiologist present or not? I mean, these are certainly questions we need answers to. It's so absurd that normal people would say, why do we even need to respond to this stuff?
Right.
But every time they come up with something like this, large swaths of their followers believe it. Remember when, I think, was it Matt Walsh or Charlie Kirk? I think it was Matt Walsh. Yeah, Matt Walsh on the Rogan show said something like, there's clearly, was it tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, some ridiculous number of double mastectomies being performed on prepubescent girls, which is hard to do since prepubescent girls don't have breasts. Like, none of it made sense. And it was just totally made up, but it spread like wildfire. And we had to fight to first clarify that that's fabricated out of thin air before we could even get to any kind of substantive conversation. So they win when they make this stuff up, as scary and absurd as this is. Trump going with the xenophobic rhetoric during the Moms for Liberty speech as well, with the immigrants are poisoning our country stuff.
But what's happening to our country is being poisoned, and your
immigrants are poisoned.
Schools and your children are suffering greatly because they're going into the classrooms, they're taking the seats, and they don't even speak English. It's crazy. And we have our people that aren't going into a classroom. We have students that were there last year. They're not allowed into the school this year. They're not allowed. It's crazy.
It's crazy. And of course, this is the dehumanizing language that is aimed at or has the function of diminishing people's self-esteem and self-worth, creating tiers and hierarchies of people, which these right-wingers just love. During this same interview, Donald Trump, who has claimed endlessly that he knows nothing about Project 2025, and when he looked at the list of their demands, he doesn't even like it, he echoes Project 2025. Listen to what he said here.
But the guys on television are woke, and a lot of the top people are woke, but they'll all be gone pretty quick. They're going to all be gone. Get them out. Get them out.
When I was in Milwaukee, I got
That is Trump echoing one of the principles of Project 2025, which is he says there's these woke people in the military. We're going to purge them and we're going to put in MAGA loyalists. That's Project 2025. At another point, Trump took on the topic. I don't even want to call it an issue because it's really not an issue. He took on the topic of Kamala Harris's previous employment at McDonald's, I guess, something I really don't care much about. But now they're going with that was a lie, I guess.
Remember she called him a racist? The bus, you remember the story of the bus? Fake story probably. Well, she also said, I worked at McDonald's. It turned out she didn't work at McDonald's. Did anybody see that? After an exhaustive study that took about 20 minutes, they found out she never worked there. So, there's a lot of fake stuff going on. But we don't need that for a president. And our country can't stand it. We are really in trouble. We're a failing nation, whether you like it or not. And
Now, to be clear, I looked around. Do we have to get into the weeds? I guess we do because they lie on all the time. It has not been determined that Kamala Harris did not work at McDonald's. It is true that she has claimed that she worked at McDonald's. There are those asserting that she did not, but I was not able to find anything one way or the other. Now, if it is true that she lied about it, then I would have something to say. But at this point in time, it has not been proven that Kamala Harris didn't work at McDonald's. They're only now making it an issue. So we'll see where that lands. Trump also admitted during this very strange interview that he wanted to make Ivanka Trump secretary to the United Nations. Talk about nepotism.
But she gave it up because she wanted to go and she didn't want something like the United Nations secretary. I wanted her to do that. I said, you would be a great ambassador to the United Nations secretary. There'd be nobody to compete with her. I tell you, she may be my daughter, but nobody could have competed with her.
There you go. Spoken like a true nepotist. I wanted my daughter to get a cushy gig, thanks to me being president. Nobody would have been better at the job than she would have, but she didn't want to do it. And finally, Trump winding down this terrifying interview by saying we don't need more defective people in the role of president.
See, she's defective. She's a defective person. And we don't need another defective person as president of the United States. We just had that.
He is so fucking insufferable.
I mean, you got no choice but to laugh at some of the shit he says. I mean, it's so outrageous. And he's the biggest liar of them all.
I don't understand why he gives a fuck if she worked at McDonald's or not. Why is this such a big deal? I swear to God. this like cultural infighting, this social shit. It's driving me so insane. It's just this tiny little micromanaging, nitpicking stuff. When who the fuck cares if she worked at McDonald's or not? She's fucking corrupt. It just.
Do you remember when Obama wore a tan suit and Fox News made a big deal out of the fact that he wore a tan suit? And he and Vice President Biden went to this diner and he had a cheeseburger and French fries and he asked for Dijon mustard and they were like, "Oh, you're so snobby, Obama. You want to dip your French fries in Dijon mustard?"
Yeah.
I do too. I mean, I got that in common with Obama. When I eat French fries, I usually dip it in something like Dijon mustard. So,
each his own. Yeah, I know. Who fucking cares? If fucking Hillary Clinton wants to walk around with fucking hot sauce in her purse, then fucking by all means, who fucking cares? If Trump wants to celebrate Cinco de Mayo by eating Taco Bell, who the fuck cares? I don't care about any of this stuff. I just don't care. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and they'll take
about it.
They'll take these little issues and put it up as this was real news. Like, I don't care if Donald Trump dumps ketchup on a steak. I don't care. I mean, that's I don't care what people's eating preferences are. Whether Obama dips French fries in Dijon and he drowns steak with ketchup. I'm talking about Trump. I don't care.
Right. Everybody cares about what everybody's doing so fucking much. I swear to God, this country is just full of like paranoid Karens looking out their window, watching the neighborhood all the fucking time. Everybody is. It's just, it drives me absolutely insane. Like it's stupid.
America became like Gladys Kravitz from Bewitched. Remember that show?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, remember the nosy neighbor, Gladys Kravitz? Yeah.
Yep. Like
that's what America has become.
Yep. On everybody else, on each other. We're just fucking tattletaling on each other and hating on each other for no fucking reason. Like, imagine hating on your fucking neighbor and all they're doing is over there smoking weed, watching the fucking news. Like, it's just absolutely,
And when I watch party leaders in other countries debate, like when I watch the Canadians debate the party leaders or the party leaders in other countries, France or UK or what have you, on C-SPAN, they're talking about policy and they're not. It's not this pop culture war bullshit that the Democrats and Republicans like to sling back and forth. When AOC says that Jill Stein is unserious. No, who's unserious are our mainstream politicians, and their unseriousness is actually going to have a negative impact on all of us.
Yep, I fucking agree. I agree. Do you want to do next? You want to do Mehdi Hassan exposes the anti-war lies? I think it's the Vanguard. Which one do you want to do next?
We'll do. Do you have one? Do you have a story that you wanted to share?
I had a couple of them, but I'm kind of regretting going through all these first. I should have done them at the beginning when we were talking about the cat eating the pets and all of that stuff. Because I had the one about I had two videos about the finding out that the woman that was eating the cat was actually an American citizen. She wasn't from Haiti, and the people in the apartment complex in Colorado where they're saying that the Venezuelan gangs are taking over, but they're actually not. It's the landlord is such a slumlord that he put out an article and blamed it on Venezuela gangs instead of going over there and fixing the apartments and paying for trash and shit like that. So the people themselves are not paying rent. But I should have done it earlier when we were talking about it because I feel like we're on like a whole different trajectory now.
Yeah.
So we could go for yours if you want to.
I'll tell you what. We'll go for mine, and then we'll jump into the one about the Venezuelan gang sounds interesting. So we can go into that after we do this one if that works for you.
Okay, yeah, that'll give me a second to look for it as well.
Okay.
Do you do the Vanguard one?
Yeah, let's do the Vanguard.
Sorry, I'm flipping around with all your videos. I'm kind of reading the titles and trying to like make it kind of fit in with the last one, so it's kind of like on a
continuity.
Yeah, going all over the place. Exactly.
All right, that'll work.
Okay. God, I forgot that these guys are even doing videos, and I didn't know that they were doing videos together now, not on separate screens in separate rooms.
Oh, you're talking about the Vanguard boys?
Yeah, I haven't seen these
Yeah, they're
guys
in
in
the same.
so fucking long that I didn't even like last time I saw these guys, they were in separate rooms in the same house and shit. Like I forgot these guys even existed.
Weren't they with KRTD at one time? I'm just curious.
They were never with us, but they have done a couple things with us. Like we had them on our show, and like I had them on a couple of event things during like New Year's Eve, or little panel things that we had and stuff. But during that whole infighting and everybody's splitting, like the indie news thing all fucked up, everybody there went all crazy and started blaming anyone that wasn't in there. Everybody kind of went their own sides, and they weren't really my friends. They were more of Shane's friends, so I don't talk to them or anything. I totally forgot that they even existed.
Yeah,
Oops.
I hardly watch them anymore. I used to watch them quite a bit a couple of years ago. They're okay, but the Aaron Matei interviews ruined it for me. You ever seen that one?
I don't think so.
Oh my God, it was insufferable. They were so disrespectful to him. I mean, I don't care if they disagree with Aaron Matei, but they were so disrespectful to him.
Yeah.
I'm done.
I think the reason why I stopped watching them is because they started getting into like it seemed almost like an entertainment channel, like a drama channel. Like they were all like, this person's in the drama with this person, and then this person's in drama with this person. And I was like, I don't really care about the infighting when there's issues going on right now in the world. So I think that's why I kind of stopped, because there was like a small little group sect of content creators that just kind of went off the deep end into the drama zone, and I was like not okay with it. But now that actually I look back at it, I mean, I got to give these guys props. I mean, they've got 42,000 subscribers and 14,000 views on this video. So I guess, doing the drama shit is the clickbait algorithmy way to bump up your viewer count to where you can still talk about the issues and also continue growing an audience. So they kind of cheated the algorithm and figured it out. So I kind of give them props for figuring it out. But my standards, I couldn't get into the drama. I'll talk shit if somebody's wearing an outfit that I think is ugly. But when you're in, I wasn't in the drama, but I knew all the behind the scenes drama. When you're in that stuff and you see it all behind the scenes, it's hard to even say anything. And I just didn't even want to be a part of it. They could be a part of it. Good on them. They got views now. Yay.
Yeah, with the Vanguard, they, as I said, that they're trying to be like I think they kind of were inspired by Progressive Voice. Remember him?
The what?
You remember Progressive Voice?
No.
He goes by the name of Sahil Habibi in real life, and he was always simping for Anna Kasparian.
Oh, then no, definitely not.
Nico House did a number on him. You got to watch that video of Nico House roasting Progressive Voice. You will feel sorry for Progressive Voice afterwards, but it was funny as hell.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what these boys have to say. It looks like he still has his long ass fucking hair. That's cool to see them together on the same screen instead of in separate screens. In the same fucking house.
Yes, it's either in the same house or they got a studio or something.
Yeah, that's good on them updating.
Pulled for us. I think we're going to just narrowly have time for, Gavin, if you're up for it. It's this 5-minute Mehdi Hassan clip. Mehdi Hassan's been on a tear since he launched Zateo, and I thought he did an absolutely epic job of dismantling one line you guys are going to hear constantly from the Jimmy Dore segment of the new media apparatus. I can't even call them the Jimmy Dore left. They freak out when you call them the Jimmy Dore right. I don't suppose there's a word for the, black-pilled politics that they embody yet, but I did want to play this clip from Mehdi.
People in left-wing circles, in Muslim circles, in Arab American circles, who tell me that they're voting for Donald Trump because he isn't a hawk. He didn't start any new wars. He killed fewer Muslims than Democratic presidents do. This argument is doing my head in because it just isn't true. It's total nonsense. So when it comes to Trump and war and killing Muslims in particular, it's time for a debunking. Number one, he didn't start any new wars, they say. Well, it's not like he didn't try. We just got lucky. In his first year in office, he picked a fight with nuclear-armed North Korea. He called Kim Jong-un Little Rocket Man, called him short and fat, and threatened him with fire and fury. Trump's own Homeland Security officials were so shit scared that he'd start a major war with North Korea that they had multiple meetings to prepare for a nuclear attack, a North Korean nuclear strike on American soil.
And I wanted to bring that up, Gavin. You and I both covered this pretty closely in our own personal lives and our own, correspondence with one another as it was unfolding. And I think it's one part of the Trump presidency that people seemingly have erased from their entire minds. Now, it is true that it was a step that a lot of lefties applauded when Donald Trump did go over to North Korea and meet with, or did he go to North Korea? He did go to North Korea, right? Yeah. They had the first meeting between the sitting U.S. president and Kim Jong-un under Donald Trump, but that was only after massive escalation, huge risk, the opportunity of pushing us towards war. The idea that you could call this guy like some sort of peace negotiator is absolutely absurd. So first off, I wanted to get your reaction to that.
Yeah, no, I think it's 100% correct. And you're totally right, Zach, that a lot of people pretend that, sort of state of terror we all lived in under Donald Trump never happened, but it absolutely happened. I vividly remember not just with the North Korea situation, but also later and even more intensely with the Iran situation after the murder of, or the extrajudicial assassination of Qasem Soleimani. People were genuinely like, oh shit, we might go to war. Like this could genuinely trigger a serious conflict, the likes of which no one is prepared for. That was a very real fear. And again, it wasn't very calming to have someone as erratic as Donald Trump in charge during those moments. So even though we avoided the worst case scenario, yeah, to call Donald Trump some diplomat is just completely ridiculous.
And he's going to be more emboldened. But hold your thoughts on Qasem Soleimani. We're going to hear more about it.
His last year in office, Trump illegally assassinated Iran's top general, Qasem Soleimani, via a drone strike. And the only reason we didn't have a full-on war with Iran is because the Iranians chose to show restraint and not respond in kind.
This is what's crazy about that, by the way, and this is why one of the chief foreign policy failures in the lead up to Gaza, which is of course all-consuming and will take up much of the foreign.
That's a question really quick that I've been really wanting to ask for like the last year, since I've been really digging into history and stuff. Like the Ottoman Empire and the Middle East and stuff, those kingdoms were fucking ruling the world for thousands of fucking years, and all of a sudden, for 1,000 maybe years, white, the white colonization and shit starts happening, and shit like this happens where Iran shows restraint while we kill their fucking leader. Like, to me in my head, I'm like, y'all had the Ottoman Empire for thousands of years. You guys rule the world. Fucking wreck us. Wreck us, please. Do something. Why are they showing restraint when they are so fucking powerful? They're just letting a white man walk all over them after they've been in charge for so long.
I think I can answer that question. With regard to restraint that Iran holds, it's a different culture from. It's not an Arabic culture. It's its own. It's Persian culture, and
right.
And they, in some ways, weirdly, it's almost a Western culture. Iran. A lot of people think Iran is this desert country. It has a desert, obviously, but I mean, there's aspects of Iran that they have pockets of Western ideals about them. And in spite of being the Islamic Republic of Iran, it's more secular than people realize.
Right.
For example, I mean, believe it or not, in the Middle East, the Jewish people that live in Iran, of all the Muslim countries that comprise of the Middle East, there's more tolerance toward the Jewish community in Iran than anywhere else in the Middle East, outside of obviously Israel itself. And a lot of people, you tell people that, they're like, "Oh, that's not true," but it is kind of true.
Right.
And Iran, people would scapegoat Iran as this sort of terrorist threat to the West, when the biggest threat to the West is one of the countries the U.S. is friendly with, Saudi Arabia. I mean, they actually do fund and back a lot of the terrorism that takes place against the West. It's more Saudi Arabian centered than anything else, but we don't fuck with them because we want their oil.
Right. Yep.
And Saudi and Iran, I mean, Iran, for every terrorist thing they have done against the West, Saudi Arabia is like, 100 times more guilty than Iran ever could be. But we kick Iran around and they're showing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all of those countries over there too. I mean, Afghanistan, they allowed us, they allowed us, I mean, didn't allow us, but, sat there and took the 20 years of war that we had on them for absolutely nothing. It's like all those countries over there could just team up again and make just one big fucking empire and wreck us. And I respect them for the, like for the restraint that they have showed over all of these years. But at some point, they've got to come together and say, "Fuck you, white people. We're done. We're going back to the way it used to be."
Well, there's another reason for that. In the entire Middle East, there's no one size fit all ideology in that part of
Right.
the world. I mean,
That's probably the westernization of over there too, is, saying that every other religion is bad, so the division keeps on growing. That's got to be a Western cultural thing.
when the Soviet Union existed, terrorism, as it was viewed back then, was not fundamentalist like it is today. It was secular. I mean, like the PLO, the various Ba'ath parties that ruled, like Iraq and Syria and places like that, and even Muammar Gaddafi of Libya. All of them had in common. They were casually Muslim, but it didn't play a big role in their lives, and they personally, a lot of these people personally didn't have a problem with some of the finer trappings of the West or what have you, but because of the divide and conquer with the U.S., they had a divide and conquer strategy, and Israel had it with Hamas. Israel funded and groomed Hamas to undermine the influence of the PLO, which orbited around the Soviets at the time. And that's why you have the situation you have today. And I'd rather deal with secular people than to deal with fundamentalists, no matter who's being the fundamentalist. That's where I stand. And that's probably one of the last signs of the restraint comes from those who are secular. And there's secular elements, I believe. So anyway, that's kind of the way I'm reading it.
Yep. I agree. All right, let's finish watching these
From policy writing and discussions of the Joe Biden administration. The fact that he did not resume the Iran nuclear deal after Iran patiently waited following the assassination of a huge general. Imagine we hardly have any famous generals or famous military professionals in America. Imagine one gets killed by a foreign government like Russia or China or Iran. What would we do? We would try and destroy their entire country. We would kill so many innocent women and children. We would do abhorrent things to their economy, their food stability, all of that jazz. No, this country, Iran said, let's take a chill pill. He'll be out soon. Let's see if we can wait until Joe Biden takes office and resumes the Iran nuclear deal. Obama negotiated the Iran nuclear deal with us. After all, it was his chief foreign policy achievement. Joe Biden says, no, fuck you.
Iran, say, assassinated General Mark Milley, America's top general at that time, we would have been instantly in World War III as a result of Trump's actions. Let's be clear about that. In fact, Milley says Trump wanted to attack Iran after he lost the 2020 election. Trump also reportedly wanted to attack Venezuela. And now for his second term, he's considering airstrikes on Mexican soil.
He put freaking John Bolton in his cabinet. That guy's had a hard-on for war with Iran for fucking decades. He's built his entire Republican credentials on it as being an insane war hawk towards Iran and anywhere else.
That for a new war, not far away in the Middle East, but on our own southern border. By the way, this very specific and annoying claim that he was the first president to start no new war, that's just not true. Former president and Nobel Peace Laureate Jimmy Carter would like a word. And look, this whole not starting new wars thing is a distraction from the fact that Trump expanded and escalated pretty much every war that he inherited from Barack Obama. Remember, Obama famously didn't bomb the Assad government in Syria, but Trump did in 2017 and again in 2018. Obama didn't drop the single biggest bomb on Afghanistan, the mother of all bombs, the Moab, but Trump did. In fact, the number of
And liberals applauded him for this. We were talking about this with Tyrell the other day. They actually defined it as like, Trump's officially the commander-in-chief now that he's dropped the mother of all bombs on these poor people in Afghanistan who, of course, hadn't suffered enough under our pillage.
Afghan civilians killed by airstrikes on Trump's watch went up 330%. And as writer Ben Krause points out, quote, there were more civilian deaths from airstrikes in Somalia under Trump than under Bush and Obama combined. Trump also oversaw a 200% increase in airstrike deaths in Iraq and Syria. Number two, well, at least he wasn't a drone president, they say, like Obama was. Look, Obama was indeed a drone president who killed a lot of innocent people with drone strikes. But you know who was a bigger drone president? Donald Trump. Yeah, you just haven't heard about it because much of our media is a joke and because both Muslims and the left, for some reason, have given Trump a pass on this issue. Here are the facts that you need to know. Donald Trump did more drone strikes in his first 2 years in office than Barack Obama carried out over 8 years in office. In fact, Trump didn't just do more drone strikes, he loosened all restrictions on drone strikes, making it even easier to kill innocent civilians.
Which is another thing I wanted to get your reaction to, Gavin. And it is something that I don't even think we on our own podcast do a good enough job of pointing out. It is absolutely absurd to argue that even Barack Obama, who took us from 2 wars to 7, who won a Nobel Peace Prize for no reason, who was a absolute bloodthirsty maniac on the global stage, he did less damage to the people of the Middle East than Donald Trump did.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
He's
he
just
makes a
gonna
great
watch
point with
the
the
Mehdi
drone,
Hassan thing through the
with
whole
the
thing.
drone statistic, right? As far
What's that now?
He's just gonna watch. They're just gonna watch the Mehdi Hassan video throughout the whole thing.
Mostly, but I think that we got pretty much the gist of what he was
Okay.
saying there.
I have to
And
give it to him when I was talking earlier about the clickbait stuff. Like he put Mehdi Hassan exposes the Jimmy Dore left's anti-war lies. Like that it's slight clickbaity because they added exposes the Jimmy Dore left's anti-war lies. So you think, oh, they're gonna talk about Jimmy Dore in here. Here's that fighting again, that infighting. Let me watch it. And then you watch it. And there's not a single thing in here about Jimmy Dore left or Jimmy Dore in here. It's all Mehdi Hassan talking about how bad Trump is compared to Obama.
but the Jimmy Dore left connection is that and it's true that the Jimmy Dore left
That was a clickbaity
most of
type.
the Jimmy Dore left they're accused of being pro-Trump. They're not really pro-Trump, but they sort of have the same view I have of Trump, that George W. Bush was so horrendous that anything that exists after Bush, all the shit that happened after Bush is why everything sucks right now. That's the way I'm interpreting that Jimmy Dore left. When we're talking about the gray zone, whether we're talking about Glenn Greenwald, and some of these channels like that. And Glenn Greenwald basically said that it's not that Trump was pro peace or anything. It was more just a dysfunctional presidency, because it was the Bush Cheney never Trumpers working in the Trump administration and the pink pussy hat wearing liberals fighting Trump fighting those two factions, and it accidentally made the U.S. less aggressive. U.S. was still aggressive, but they were slightly less aggressive, in spite of what Mehdi Hassan said, which everything he said was true. But it would have been far worse had there not been a ideological civil war going on between the Trump people, the never Trumpers, and the pink pussy hat wearing liberals who are trembling under their beds at the name of Trump. And that dysfunctionality, I think, kind of made the world slightly less aggressive during the Trump years. It's not that he was pro peace. Anyway, that's
Right.
basically how I'm looking at that.
Okay.
But he does have, he does deserve to be condemned for the Quassim Soleimani's execution, things like the Abraham Accords, and moving the Israeli embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem contributed to what we see here with October 7 and the clusterfuck that exists today.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I keep saying. If you believe that Trump is going to do anything different in Palestine, then you all need to look up the fact that Benjamin Netanyahu has actually stayed the night at his stepson's house in his stepson's bed. That's how close they are.
Glenn Beck,
not his stepson, his son-in-law. Sorry.
Yeah, Glenn Beck during the Obama years, when he was an ever Trumper, sort of thought that Trump was not going to be sufficiently pro-Israel, and as it turned out, he's way too way up Benjamin Netanyahu's asshole.
Just like everybody else. So it's
Just
not
like
going to be any
everybody else.
fucking different. So exactly.
Yeah, so there's that. We can go with your story next about the Venezuelan gangs.
Oh
if you
shit!
like.
Yeah, that's right. Hold on, I gotta look for it. So yeah, there was like this rumor. Like I swear to God, I'm calling it like the conservative gossip week or something, because the rumors that have been going around are just absolutely crazy, with the Haitians eating cats and cooking geese. Coming to find out that those people were actually American citizens, to the Colorado thing. Like there was this whole big thing that we're saying these Venezuelan gangs went to this apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado, and took over the entire apartment complex, like kicked people out of it, were holding people hostage in it. and made this big old hoopla about it. Come to find out, actually, the landlord is a slumlord, and lives out of the state, and wasn't paying for the trash pickup, wires sticking out, like it just wasn't being kept up. And so the people there actually themselves started to not pay rent. And so this was like the landlords fighting back against all of that. Let me see where I can find it. Here we go. There we go. All right, let me play it. I'm gonna play it while I run to the bathroom because I have to pee so fucking bad too. All
No
right,
problem.
all right, here you go.
Developing this morning, we're hearing the people living inside of one of those chaotic apartments in Aurora where the alleged gang activity is taking place. Neighbors telling us gangs are not the problem. They say poor management is the problem.
Yeah, so this all comes after we've showed you this concerning video, that video that you just saw of what allegedly could be gangs going door to door there. Fox 31's Courtney Fromm, she's on it live in Aurora this morning. Now we're even hearing from the mayor who, is saying this is because of slumlords, not the gangs. So we're kind of hearing both sides of this.
Yeah, good morning to you both. And the neighbors who actually live in the Edge at Lowry Apartments, they actually had a rally yesterday to talk about all of this and say, hey, this is not what's going on. It's actually this building's kind of a mess and the management company is not taking care of it. And they're asking specifically to talk to the Mayor Mike Kaufman, I should say, here in Aurora. And it sounds like the mayor is on board to chit chat about what's going on. Now, Mayor Mike Kaufman says there have been conversations of an emergency order to take over the complex, but he says that's a last resort. Now, those who live there, they tell us they have had no issues with gang activity, but say the real crime is the horrible living conditions they've been dealing with, like the mountains of trash, bed bugs, and even mice. And they say all of this happening without any help from the property management company. Now, the management company, CB's Management, also oversaw the Nome Street complex that was shut down last month. Now, the city shut down Nome Street because of code violations, but the management company says that they couldn't go in there and actually deal with the code violations because it was overrun by a Venezuelan gang. So that's all. Everybody kind of pointing the finger at each other. But that location, like I said, allegedly also had gang.
Did we lose him? We lost him. It looks like we lost him.
Activity. Now, the mayor, though, he says all of these allegations are a potential crutch for the company to be using.
In Elena Street. This entire situation, we've had a change in narrative because of one instance. Everybody's just looking and assigning it to everybody else. We've been paying our rent. There's nobody in there who is asking us for money other than we don't have to pay anybody. We don't have any issues with security. We are not criminals.
And the pattern is we know that they've never, quite frankly, they're out-of-state slumlords.
Yeah.
Now, Mayor Kaufman says he is expected to talk to the management company,
Right.
CBZ Management, in the future, hopefully sometime soon. But on top of that, we have reached out to them, CBZ Management, and have not heard back. But for now, live, we're Courtney from Fox 31.
Yeah. So without repeating the story over again, that's the proof right there that these people there themselves are living with or have a slumlord, and they're refusing to pay rent and stuff like that. So this was like this whole big thing where they were the landlord was saying that the gangs, man, they made this whole big thing. They even came up with that rumor that like these biker gangs were going to go out there and try to fight them and get them out of there. There was just this big old thing about it, and it was a whole big nothing. It was actually the landlord himself that's a slumlord. Like the rumor manipulation tactics is this, and then with the eating animal things, like they're grasping for straws this week. I swear to God, it's crazy. Like the absolute, like it's still racism. They're just using different words instead of saying, black people and brown people are, horrible people and they're ruining our country. They're just saying Venezuelan gangs and Haitians. It's still black and brown people. Y'all are still racist as a motherfucker. Like, it's just absolutely insane to me, the links that these guys are going to make people try to think racist instead of the logical explanation of the real thing that's going on there. It's nuts. You back? Heard the Venezuela.
I lost connection. Again.
Okay. I figured the Venezuela gangs got you. So
yeah, they got me. Yeah.
I figured. All right. Sorry. Did your mom give them some money? Is that why you got let go? They're like, we want a ransom. We got the ransom.
Yeah. I mean,
You're
no,
like, yeah, they released me. I just gave them an apartment in Colorado and they got rid of me. They didn't want me anymore.
that happened. There you go. Yeah, but it's the conspiracy theories that people want to come up with and scapegoating a group of people, and always the other. I mean,
Yep.
we seen this happen in Germany. We seen what Hitler had done,
Yes.
scapegoating the Jews, scapegoating gypsies, scapegoating whomever. I mean, it's just it may not be 100% the way Hitler did it, but it's history repeating itself, but kind of rhyming. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
No,
really
you're right.
history don't repeat, but rhymes.
Yeah, no, we are absolutely otherizing people of color right now, and we're doing with people of color and with women, we're doing things to control them to where they can't do anything. I mean, if you think about it, a majority of people that are poor. Are people of color and they don't have enough money to get IDs, and a lot of states require you to have a voter or an ID just to vote. So they're doing things to not be able to have people of color be able to do what they need to do to change this country, which is in turn, yeah, you're actually absolutely right. When Hitler started, or when he was in charge, he started slow by otherizing the Jewish community, by not allowing them to do certain things and allowing others, the people that aren't like them, to do those things. The Autobahn, it's the same, just in a different form right now, and we're absolutely doing it. I mean, if it's definitely a miniaturized version. I mean, majority. We just watched that show last week about Alabama. Alabama only has like 11% people of color there, but they make up more than 50% of the people in prison. And then those people in prison are working for slave wages at McDonald's and fast food restaurants out in the free world instead of giving it to regular people. It's all of it. We're doing it. It's just like I told Hirsch too, the other day, and I've told you guys plenty of times before. It's like throwing a frog into a pot of water. You want to start that water lukewarm and then slowly boil it so he doesn't understand what's going on. You throw a frog into a pot of boiling water and it's going to scream and want to get out. We do this shit quick. People are going to be like, oh, fuck no, this is too, what are you all doing? But we do it slowly over generations. Absolutely, we can get away with it. Absolutely, we can. And we're doing it.
Yeah, not that we were a free society prior to September the 11th, but with the garrison state that was created, the national security apparatus, the Department of Homeland Security, all this. I mean, we've been spied on and everything, and monitored for the past 24 years, way more than we've ever been monitored, and so I'm noticing the United States is certainly taking a casual step toward authoritarianism.
Yeah.
And both sides will say, well, it's because the other side has done this. And no, it's the other side that's done this. No, they both the Democrats and Republicans have played a role in taking away people's freedoms. They're both anti-freedom. They're both parties, and they'll, that sort of thing. And so you use these issues. I don't mean you. I mean these politicians use these issues.
No, I do. I'm secretly AOC. Y'all just don't know it yet.
They use these issues to with the culture war and all this sort of thing. We're just I mean, I just look at it and it's so obvious why we can't have nice things in this country, and the people on both sides, they just don't. It's like they're addicted to outrage and they just want to own the other side.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. And
Yeah.
I like this quote right here too. The problem is the humanity of Americans was never truly tested until September 11th. And by then it was far too late to actually refurbish the mentality of reactionaries. I like that. Very well put.
Yeah, and so
Speaking of which, happy 9/11. It's actually 9/11 today.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I
It's
loved your
happy 9/11.
reaction. Yeah, I loved your reaction to it. You're like, yes, it is.
Yeah. Well, not just for Americans, but it's for the people of Chile. They had their 9/11 as well. September the 11th, 1973, the coup. In
Ooh, look at
happened
you,
51 years
oh,
ago
Mr.
today.
Smarty South America pants.
I mean, no. I mean, when I was in the Socialist Party, we decided to dedicate. In Raleigh local, we actually call our small group the Salvador Allende local because we wanted to appeal to the growing number of Latin Americans that was in North Carolina, and for that reason, but also express our core values, and so we call ourselves the Salvador Allende local, and because we think Salvador Allende was a wonderful man, and what happened afterwards, what was it, 17 years of dictatorship? I think it ended in 17 years, right? I think it lasted till 1990, the Pinochet dictatorship.
Oh, wow. That's insane.
Yeah, he was voted out of power, but he was allowed to be senator for life in the Chilean Senate. But I remember how wonderful it was in 1998 where he got arrested in England. The Spanish government arrested him for crimes against human rights, crimes against humanity.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna remember that and keep that in my head because I'm getting ready to do a bunch of South American research. So this is probably something that I'm gonna be hearing soon.
Yeah. Do you remember people were talking about helicopter rides in 2016? References
No.
about helicopter rides. A lot of the diehard, hardest core right wing people that were flirting with the alt right during the 2016 election, that were simping for Donald Trump. They'll have these T-shirts having people dropping off of helicopters, like they're going to from 30,000 feet in the air. That's how Pinochet punished the left, by taking leftists, putting them in a helicopter and dumping them, just throwing them off the helicopter to hit the ground 30,000 feet in the air.
Whoa. Say that again? Wait, that did not register.
Okay, the leftists that were executed under Pinochet, the method he used was to put them board them on helicopters and toss them from 30,000 feet up in the air into the ground.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Are you serious right now?
I'm not kidding you. No, I wish I was joking, even though that's a pretty sick joke.
Wait, it's the old I'm an Apache helicopter, which was a nod to Pinochet, who used to throw communists and socialists from a helicopter after gutting them and tying hostage to the bar to see if they'd. You're joking, right? Oh my fucking god. This is insane. So Hirsch is where I'm gonna go do my research. He's got a Spotify podcast, something confessions. I've got to remember what the fuck it is, content confessions or something on Spotify. And he did like a whole entire series with his brother on the entire history of like a bunch of countries in South America, including obviously this, because he is talking about it a bunch. I had no fucking clue. Like when I'm getting into these things and learning history, I'm like, this is gonna be boring. And so hearing shit like this, I'm like, okay, yeah, now I'm all in it now. Like I've got to find something that piques my interest to get into it, and that's fucking crazy. What the fuck?
It's not a joke. It's for real. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's insane.
Yeah. And when the right wing sit there and they criticize the left for praising Cuba's healthcare system, they'll be like, whoa, then the left throws around Pinochet. They turned the economy around. No, he didn't. He turned the economy around for those on the top, and by privatizing everything. I mean, the country was actually it was an anarcho-capitalist experiment that they did in Chile under Pinochet's government, and it certainly was not a free society like some anarcho-capitalists claim that it would provide.
Okay, so Pinocchio was a bad guy. And anti-communist as well, Kissinger's pet project. Okay. Makes sense. All right. So Pinocchio guy bad. Got it. Absolutely.
Yeah,
All
the
right,
thing
we are
about
over. We
Kissinger,
are
a
over
lot
time
of
too.
liberals ended up. Oh my gosh, yes, we are.
Sorry, go ahead and
Yeah.
finish your sentence.
Any plans this week? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was just saying about the liberals being Kissinger, all about Kissinger before he died because he was anti-Trump. The only nice thing I could say about Kissinger it was that he was correct on the Ukraine-Russia conflict, that there needed to be negotiation, and the Ukrainians were so pissed off about it they put him on the kill list.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, a broken clock can be right twice a day, so.
Yeah, that's basically what it came down to. He was a broken clock on Ukraine-Russia because I guess at
Right.
the age of 100 he figured we don't need a nuclear war, you know?
Yeah, exactly. All right, what you got going on this week?
Yeah. Okay, tomorrow we've been trying to get Shane back on the show. He had his little situation. I had to delay it. Then I got called in early Friday because he was supposed to come in on Friday. I had to go and delay it. So, and then Monday he was supposed to come on my show, and he had to delay it again. So
Oh
we agree on Thursday.
no.
So he's going to come on my show tomorrow. I'm having a
Okay.
special Willie Bragg show at 8:00 tomorrow evening.
Okay.
And Friday I'll do a live stream, and I may be doing a live stream on the debate this coming week. Like maybe on the weekends, I might Sunday talk about the debates or something like that. So
Okay.
it's that's basically it. And
Okay.
any plans on your end?
I will probably be streaming my game on my Twitch channel. I know Shane's probably going to be mad at me, but at least I want to share the new channel that we're all starting. The media thing. Where is it? Outcast. Oh, did we lose him again? God darn it. We lost him again. So Shane, me, who else is it? Madeline. There's also Willie, I believe, too, and Idaho Joe, from Kind Idaho. We're getting ready to start a podcast, and I'm really excited because it's it's um it's going to be a really great mix of everything from politics to entertainment to deep diving, all of that you can, that you can think of. I'm trying to find the fucking link. God damn it. Where is the goddamn link? Um Let me see if I can fucking find it. But we're really excited. I've been sitting here making the graphics for it, and we're gonna get it. I think it's gonna get officially starting in October, which is gonna be really, 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 really exciting. I cannot fucking wait. Um, do you have or do you know where the link is for the thing we're doing with Shane?
Oh, I got my computer just frozen and I had to get back online. So I didn't hear what you just said for probably
I
past
was
3 minutes.
talking to them about the new idea that we have that we're getting ready to start next month, and at least
Oh,
get the
yeah.
link up to them on the YouTube link so that way they can at least start to follow.
Yeah. Okay. Only a couple. Well, it's blank that channel, but I can go
I
ahead
know.
and try to get it for you. Hold on a
Yeah,
second.
get it because I should be adding all of the graphics to it this week. I know we already have a Twitter, so I'm gonna look for the Twitter as well. So that way they can at least follow. There it is.
Yeah, I got the. Okay, hold on a second. Let me get the.
All right.
Always have trouble with this I'm on a different computer here. That's why. My computer flips up a second ago.
Oh, you're fine.
And Kenzie.
All right, y'all.
Okay, hold on a second. Got it. Okay, I'm going to put it on private chat for you so you can actually do it on my end. Hold on. Okay, do that here. Come on. Right, there we go. There we go. Outcast Media Network. One word.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
I know I should have had this all set up.
That's all right. Let me. Yes, that's our channel there.
Yay.
Yep, and yep, waiting for stuff to be put on there. So
yeah, so I've started putting the stuff onto our Twitter. If you want to show that.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. Let me go on Twitter real quick. Okay.
Okay, good, because my shit's just not. Let me see
that.
if I can. Okay. Oh.
Let's see here. Outcast. Okay.
And then here's our Twitter link for it, so you guys can follow it if you want. I'm really, really excited. I've got a lot of freaking ideas for this. I really want to do a deep dive into everything South America. I want to interview some people. I've already got some ideas for it. Definitely, I need to ask a couple people if they want to get interviewed for the South American thing, including like Madeline. She's been living in Colombia for the last few years. She used to work here at work at KRTD Media as well, doing an entire Colombia series. I know Hirsch has done an entire series on South America too, so I've got some people in mind for that. Here is our Twitter. I am so excited. This is our logo. This is our name. We are known as Outcast Media Network. We also doing Outcast podcast. I love our little news raccoon, little trash panda. He's the fucking cutest thing I've ever seen in my goddamn life. I am so fucking stoked about him. I love him. He is all ours. Like, that is ours. Nobody else can have that. Nobody can trademark that. That is our baby.
Exactly.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, and I'm excited about this new project here because you know, I think that I have a very good feeling about this new project.
Yeah, me too. Like I said, I've got tons and tons of ideas. I was literally just talking to a friend last night. His name is Taco. He actually grew up and lived most of his life in Flint, Michigan, and is thinking about moving back there. So I was like, I can do a whole entire episode about Flint, Michigan. This would be amazing. So
yeah, I have never been to Michigan. And
well, Flint with the water crisis too.
Yes,
so
yeah. I actually thought about moving to Michigan a couple of years ago. And the reason I thought about it is that the cost of living is fairly low in Michigan, from what I understand, property value and everything. And I was thinking, you know, maybe I should go and go there to Michigan, transfer from my old job when I was working at my job to up there to Michigan and everything. And I have a feeling that the economy is going to turn around eventually in Michigan.
Right.
And I think that the time to buy property at a reasonable price would be now, because when their economy turns around, it's not going to be the auto industry anymore. It's going to be something else. I think it's what's going to happen. So I think that it's going to be more tech oriented. That's what I'm predicting. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you all for following and subbing. I appreciate you. If you haven't yet, please do. We're really, really excited about doing this. This is kind of like our free-for-all channel of just talking about whatever we want. So there's no more burnout for us content creators. We don't have to sit here and doom scroll about the news all the time. If there's something that we're interested and passionate about doing an episode, I feel like this could be a really good open space for content creators to be able to come up with, create, and make something to where you can always forever, like all year long, without any, burnout points, where you can feel like you've made something and you still want to continue to make something for audiences and people that want to watch what you're interested. Like I said, even small little episodes about certain subjects, historical stuff, even talk about politics. You want to talk about, the new infighting between, I don't know, Jeffree Star and Tatiana Westbrook, or you want to, talk about Gypsy Rose and the drama that's going on with that, or the entertainment, who wore what during this, and all that. It's free to do whatever. This is what these platforms are for, and why do we have to sit here every day and just talk about the same stuff every week, over and over, like a whole year about Ukraine and Russia, a whole year about, of course these things are important, like Palestine and Israel, but after a while of doing it, you just kind of get burnt out. So I wanted to, at least in my part of this organization, this little crew that we're getting ready to start, at least in my own part of it, I want to be able to open it up to create anything you want for the people that are in it, that are creating it. And I really, really am excited about this.
Yeah, I as I said, I'm looking forward to doing this and see what happens. Curious to see what people's reactions will be to us. I think I have, as I said, a very good feeling. We should also encourage people to subscribe to the Braggland's YouTube channel. It needs some love and care.
All right, there you guys go.
Yeah,
Subscribe to the Braggland channel as well.
Okay, let me put that up there for them here.
Yep.
And I don't do as much with the Twitter page as I need to. I'm going to probably jumpstart that as well.
All right, I'll need access into that so I can work it too.
Yeah. Okay, I'll see to it that you get that. Okay, hold on a second. Braggland Show. We say Braggland TV on Twitter, but it's Braggland Show on YouTube. So there we go. Yeah, so if y'all could please subscribe to the Braggland on YouTube as well. It needs some love and attention as well.
That's right. Welcome. Thank you.
All right.
Air is not good, Patrick. Air is not good.
Don't forget.
Exactly. And let's see here. Anything else?
That is it. Just keep an eye out for us. We'll be back. We'll be back.
We should be back next week. And let's see. I guess that's all I have to say. How about you?
Yep, that's it. Stay high, free Palestine.
Free, stay high, free Palestine, free healthcare, and abolish the duopoly.
That's right.
Exactly. Peace. Okay, let me do this. And